All right, let's jump right in. Today we are unpacking something absolutely massive, the ultimate 8-phase blueprint for building a fully automated digital marketing agency from the ground up. We're looking at a specific model today known as XYZ. You might actually know it by its former name, Cozy X1. This explainer is going to give you the exact step-by-step roadmap. I'm talking everything from grabbing your domain name to building multiple streams of automated income. If you've ever wondered how these modern AI-leveraged agencies actually work behind the scenes, well, you're in exactly the right place. But before we get into the actual nuts and bolts, we got to ask ourselves a pretty massive question. How do you actually automate a media agency? I mean, it sounds incredibly complex, right? But the secret is you don't do it all at once. It's exactly like building a high-performance engine. You build it piece by piece. You lay down a solid foundation. You install the mechanical gears of content creation. You pour in the fuel of growth tactics. And finally, you drive the whole thing straight toward monetization.
So, here's how we're going to break this all down. Section 1, laying the agency foundation. Section 2, the AI-driven content workflow. Section 3, publishing and growth tactics. And finally, Section 4, scaling up and monetization.
Section 1, laying the agency foundation. This is our chassis.
Okay, Phase 1. This is the essential tech and legal setup. Honestly, it's the unglamorous stuff, but it's absolutely crucial. You finalize your XYZ agency name, you buy that .com domain, and you apply for a trademark so your intellectual property is totally protected. You also need to lock in your technical infrastructure, specifically setting up Vercel and GitHub for continuous, automated deployment. Why this specific tech stack? Because it's going to save you massive amounts of time when you need to make rapid updates later. By locking down your domains, your trademarks, and your deployment pipelines right out of the gate, you're safely isolating your risk and prepping the agency for massive scale.
Now, Phase 2 introduces a frankly brilliant branding strategy. The public never actually sees the parent agency brand. No, instead, you create separate, standalone brand pages, each with its own unique theme. For this specific roadmap, our initial strategy is hyper-focused on the kids' animation niche. So you establish dedicated channels that are entirely about animated moral stories for children. The parent XYZ agency, it just sits quietly in the background as a hidden umbrella company. This is so smart because it isolates your risk, it lets you rapidly test, launch, or even pivot niche pages without ever tying your main corporate identity to just one type of content.
Section 2, AI-driven content workflow. Let's build the engine.
Moving into Phase 4, we've got a highly specific tool-to-task pipeline. This right here removes literally all the guesswork from content creation. For your scripting, you're leveraging AI. Think ChatGPT or Gemini to generate your concepts and dialogue. Then, video generation is handled by tools like Veo or Pictory. For audio and voiceover, you plug in ElevenLabs for those incredibly realistic synthetic voices. And finally, the whole shebang gets pulled together and polished up in DaVinci Resolve. This precise stack is a total game changer. It effectively slashes traditional production times from weeks down to mere hours, completely bypassing those usual human bottlenecks.
And this engine is what fuels our dual-platform content strategy in Phase 3. Check this out. On YouTube, your focus is entirely on long-form videos. We're talking full, fun, animated stories that wrap up with a clear moral ending. But then, over on Instagram, you flip the script. You leverage short-form reels, using quick, punchy clips pulled directly from that main YouTube content. It's a hyper-efficient approach. The exact same moral story engine is feeding both the long and short-form algorithms simultaneously, which absolutely maximizes your reach with zero wasted effort.
Section 3, Publishing and Growth Tactics. Time to add the fuel.
All right, so Phase 5 brings in a really strict publishing sequence. Because listen, it's just not enough to export an AI video and blindly hit publish. For every single long video on YouTube or short clip on Instagram, you have to follow this exact optimization sequence. First, obviously, you upload the video. Second, you've got to optimize that title for maximum searchability and intrigue. Third, optimize the thumbnail. You want to practically guarantee a high click-through rate. And fourth, optimize your description with the right keywords and links. If you fail to meticulously execute steps 2, 3, and 4, your amazing AI-generated content is just going to get completely buried.
Then we hit Phase 6, which is entirely about growth. And this roadmap boils it all down to one word: daily. Maintaining a daily, consistent posting schedule is literally the single most important action you can take to trigger these platform algorithms. But it's not just posting into the void.
Alongside that daily schedule, you have to dive deep into your YouTube analytics. You need to constantly analyze viewer retention and audience engagement. Find out exactly where people are clicking away, adjust your AI prompts based on that data, and then upload a better video tomorrow. If you take away anything from this explainer at all, remember this: the algorithm rewards relentless consistency.
Section 4. Scaling up and monetization. The destination.
Okay, Phase 7. This is where we scale the entire operation. Think about how far we've come. We went from establishing an isolated foundation back in Phase 1 to launching your very first brand page in Phase 2. Now, here in Phase 7, you take those automated AI workflows you just perfected and use them to launch multiple new niche pages simultaneously. You're just duplicating a proven engine across totally different content categories. And as this expands, Phase 7 is also the exact moment you transition from being a solo operator to building out an actual human team to manage all these expanding AI workflows.
And finally, the ultimate payoff. Phase 8, monetization. Once your channels have actually scaled up, you unlock some seriously diverse revenue streams. Obviously, the primary goal is crossing the threshold for the YouTube Partner Program, right? That means hitting 1,000 subscribers and getting those required watch time hours. Once ad revenue is activated, boom, you've got a really powerful baseline income. But the roadmap doesn't stop there. It stacks additional revenue streams on top of that. Affiliate marketing embedded right in your descriptions, selective niche sponsorships, and even future merchandising. Stacking these multiple streams is absolutely crucial. It protects you from unpredictable ad rate fluctuations and essentially builds you a highly resilient media empire.
So there it is, you now have the complete blueprint. We've gone from foundational setup to AI automation, all the way to scaled monetization. The XYZ framework is built, it's tested, and it's just waiting to be deployed. The tools are incredibly accessible, and the strategy is crystal clear. So the only question left for you is, what niche will you automate first?